Hey, just to remind you to visit our www.doubledoseofrawtalk.store and get your podcast merch and rep with your favorite host, Miss D. And of course, my ebook is still available, My Journal to Self-Love. It's my experience and a dose on how to build and rebuild your confidence and be confident. So, go support the show. Welcome to Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast, your weekly dose of many discussions and opinions, a show where we get comfortable being uncomfortable. And remember, no topic is off limits. Now let's talk about it.
It's pretty fucking amazing, dude. Nobody knows a thing. The camera's off, right? The camera's off.
The camera's
off. Oh my goodness.
I can. Oh man. Anyway, let's just do the opening.
Let's jump right into it.
This is gonna be already. This episode is like a whole mess. All right, welcome back, guys, to another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast. I am your host, Miss D, and today I have one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. My amazing. Can I say you're still a fellow New Yorker? Like, can I say that?
Yeah, that's
okay.
For life.
All
that's
right.
For life.
Okay. Do you want to say from where?
Born in Brooklyn, raised in Westbury.
Okay. Long Island. Okay. All right. My good friend, Frank.SaidSo. That's how you're going to know him. Don't be asking no more questions. All right. Thanks. Sure. What did we say, guys? Like lately my guests be wanting to be, a little bit of mystery here. So I gotta respect that. So thank you so much for finally coming on the show. It's a long time overdue.
Since the first episode. This is the first episode. It's like, yo, we gonna do this. I'm like, hell yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
The first episode.
Spring,
we've been talking about
summer, Fall,
yeah, a whole year.
Spring,
yeah. This is episode 71, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
A whole year. There has to be something. Well, if it matters and if it makes a difference, one of my favorite numbers is the number 7.
Same.
They gotta mean something. Do we want to give a backstory on how we know each other?
IG.
Strictly IG.
How many years has it been?
I think it's 2 years because it started the page way before I launched the podcast. So I think it's gonna be about 2 years.
We're so 2021, right?
Yeah.
You have, and I know there's probably a whole lot of people that can relate to this. We have friends, folks. We have had dope conversations, shared a lot, discussed a lot, true support, true friendship. And never met these people
at all
in real life. Never shook a hand, never hugged anything. It's amazing, that end of, social media.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I remember chat rooms. You call in and you like, yo, you paid somebody with a time and then the last 4 digits of the chat room phone number and you meet in there. I have a friend that we met. We were both 19.
Okay.
And we would get in there and roast folks. I mean, snapping. You know how crazy you gotta be to start snapping jokes on someone in a chat room that you can't see. You just hear their voice. Like just in there cracking jokes on folks. And when I moved to DC, we actually met up in person, and we've been friends now 21 years.
Wow.
So many people look at social media as the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh, it destroys relationships. It does this. It's like, I've had so many amazing experiences, and now look, 2 years later, we done laughed, cried, had wild jokes, dope conversations, and now we're at a place. I've watched you grow this, 71 episodes.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, don't get me.
This was an idea. You're like, you know what? I set everything up, but. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. It's like, I have work. I got a son. I'm like, I don't want to do no fucking podcast. How am I gonna keep this going? 71 episodes later.
Yeah. It's dope. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate that.
Drink to that.
I'm not gonna say what's in this bottle. It's not water though.
This ain't iced tea.
Thank you so much. So, It is. So I'm definitely one of those people who has felt like, oh my God, social media is a devil. But because of its negative uses and the people, right? It's the people who
Yeah.
are the ones who impact the purpose of what social media should really be about. I would never imagine a day in my life like meeting anyone from any other state, right?
Hmm.
To be in a space now where we could do that. And then we ended up into forced quarantine, which helped people
It did.
flourish, some friendships
Yep.
so naturally, so organically.
Hmm.
We are Scorpios.
Yes,
And that's actually how the connection happened.
indeed.
I think it was like on this like power to the Scorpios IG page, and we were commenting.
I
And
think it was a Know Thy Scorpio.
yes, yeah,
Yep.
which we still follow to this day. Where
It's
where
like, yo, me too. Yep.
and we've been virtual friends but genuine friends ever since. All right, so this is going to be an interesting episode. It's funny the way we opened the conversation for this. I don't even know what to call this. This is going to feel like a therapy session, maybe, or just like a venting session. I don't know, but there's definitely something that I want to bring to the table to discuss.
Hmm.
I'm sure you know this by now, but for any new listeners coming to the show, we have now revamped, or maybe I should say, excuse the Bronx, revamped, or maybe I should say, I got to apologize for my space.
Hmm.
We now have a new opening segment. Not really a segment; it's just an opener, kind of like the bridge between the icebreaker and a new segment, and it's called the Raw Mess of the Week. I don't know if you know who I don't know if you know who this rapper called G Herbo is. Do you know who that is? Have you heard his name?
You said G Herbal, like herbal tea?
Not Herbal Tea.
Oh, okay.
He goes by G Herbo on IG. He is
Okay.
the baby daddy to Taina, who is the stepdaughter of rapper Fabulous. So I don't know if that's connecting the dots a little bit for you.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's
Okay.
also like a rapper, right? He's a rapper, not like a rapper. Let me put some respect on his name because I have heard some of his music and I do happen to like it. He's a little young too. I believe he's younger than me.
I'm glad he doesn't have little in his name. That's
You
impressive
know
stuff.
what? I have to agree with you. I do not.
Because that's getting so
I'm
old.
so over the littles. I'm over the littles. First of all, the one and only little that I accept in my entire life is Little Wayne.
Wayne.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. I don't want to
And
hear about nobody
he's
else.
pushing it at this point because he's what, almost 40. Like you get to a point where
Yeah, but he's
okay,
still
he gets a
little.
pass, but all the yeah, yeah,
He's like, I take Little Kim and then I accepted Little Wayne. That's
that's
it,
it.
guys. That's it. That's it. So, this man, this rapper, he
Hmm.
actually has a child with someone prior to that.
Okay.
Her name is Ari, right? And she's a public figure out in the masses too. I think she's absolutely
Mhm.
beautiful. Both women are very beautiful. Fabulous is a grandpa now. For those of you who chewed
That's
me
wild.
up several episodes ago when I said he's an old school rapper, boom, he's an old
Granddad.
school rapper because he's a granddaddy now.
Shit.
Okay. Anyway, so
GRANDP. Grandpa.
Ari, she had a birthday party.
Mhm.
And yes, Diana's a new mom, and yes, there's a whole new baby at home. But he was seen at this birthday party in support of. And of
Okay.
course, social media blew it the fuck up. Like, oh my God, all these blogs started checking if Diana was following G Herbo, if G Herbo was following Diana. Oh my God, it's because he went to support Ari at her birthday party. Like a whole thing came out of that, right? Somebody
He's
did it
got he's got a child with both women,
with
right?
both women. Yes. It's her
So
birthday
people
party.
are
He's
in
in the
ends because he went to support.
they're in the industry.
No one's married.
No.
Okay. Common
Yes.
single father.
Yes.
He goes to support one,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he's going to support the other.
Yeah. Well, he's
And
with the
this
other one. He's with her.
he's actively with it.
Yeah, he's actively with her.
Does she have an issue with it?
I mean, I think social media made it a big deal because they unfollowed each
Yeah.
other, and the narrative was already created that it's because, oh my God, he went to Ari's birthday party. There is an interview where they asked him about that, and he was like,
Mhm.
"No," he's like, "It has nothing to do with that. Like, her and I have followed each other for something personal, but they're still together." He was like, "That's my baby." And that's when it comes to Ari, he was like, "Yeah, it was her birthday. Yeah, I was there. Like, no big deal. Like, it was nothing to him." Two pieces of this, right? Social media, remember what I said, social media can be trash, right?
Mhm.
Social media can definitely be trash. Those bloggers, for clickbait, they will create a story,
Yeah.
a whole narrative, right?
Yeah.
If in general, two people are no longer together, right?
Mhm.
Sure, they both may have moved on. She's also dating someone, another rapper. Are we not supposed to support, even if it is for a birthday, even if we are in the same industry, even if it is an actual event? Like, not to say a birthday is not an actual event, but let's say a fundraiser. Let's say anything
Mhm.
of that kind. At whatever time, are we just not supposed to because of what the media or what any regular, degular, schmegular person is gonna say if they catch me at this event supporting my ex? Like,
Mhm.
why? So because the child's not there, oh my God, I'm breaking the rules.
Here's my thoughts on it, and
Yes.
it's simple.
Yes.
Fuck people and their opinions. There are way too many opinions masquerading as facts,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's that's what drives cancel culture and so many other things.
Mm.
You have folks that really like to put their stamp on a situation they have no facts on.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're looking in from the outside and deriving conjectures, and that somehow becomes an article.
Right.
Media has been replaced by social media,
Mhm.
and the court of public opinion takes over, even though the court of public opinion has no bearing in reality.
Oh, everybody's a lawyer.
And
Everybody's an
yeah,
expert.
everybody's a lawyer. Everyone's a Pulitzer Prize winning
Yes.
author. Everyone's a
Yes.
a photographer.
Mhm.
It's all bullshit. And unfortunately, more often than not, people's feelings get supported, um, promoted,
Mhm.
and presented as the truth or as fact.
Mhm.
When in reality, there's you don't know what they were
You
thinking.
don't know shit.
You don't know
Right.
what's going on in their household. You don't know what
Right.
discussions they've had. You're not in their text messages. You're not
Right.
tapping their phone. You don't know
Right.
the basics, the boundaries, the facets of their relationship, their
Right.
three-ended relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know. So someone like myself, I don't speak on things I don't know
Right.
because I know better.
Mhm.
But to answer your question, I don't see anything necessarily wrong
Mhm.
being in the music industry.
Right.
That is, if you don't attend certain things, it's similar to politics.
Mhm.
I was a chair of the Democratic Party of Oregon's Black Caucus for years in the state of
Mhm.
Oregon. I got called out for not attending an LGBTQ event.
They real quick
And
to call out the one thing you didn't do.
but I called them back. I was like, I didn't see you at a Juneteenth event.
Say
Did I
that.
make a deal about it?
Say that.
Why? Because you're not black. I don't expect you to be at a Juneteenth event.
Mhm.
I didn't go to this event. I'm not in that community.
Mhm.
It's not something that I am, consciously
Active.
trying or actively aware. Don't mistake me not physically being there as me not supporting your
Hoarding.
cause. Me not going doesn't mean I'm not fighting for you. I'm the chair of the caucus. Do it off of I don't respect positions or feelings. I respect facts. And that's
Mm.
I know for me that has cost me in, relationships, it has cost me, professionally. I can't get to a place where I'm more worried about your feelings than the actual issue. Everyone's quick to jump on a tweet
Oof.
without fact checking or an Instagram
Mhm.
post, and people post a lot of bullshit.
A lot of
It sounds
bullshit.
impelling, like, oh man, that's so deep. No, it's not. you know, you know, Denzel didn't say half the shit that those memes say.
Not Denzel. Can we leave Denzel out of this though?
He says a lot of dope shit too, but it's like he said at one point, he's like, yeah, I didn't say that. That wasn't.
your feelings, your thoughts, your opinions about a situation, cool. I'm not here to change that. It is what it is.
Hmm.
I'm not
You're
here to do
free
it.
to think what you
Right.
want.
Right. I know what my side is. I know what my truth is. I know what my opinion is and what my thoughts are. Um, I'm just not also here to entertain bullshit narratives. I'm not
Exactly.
here to do that. Like that's not what's gonna happen. Let's base it by the facts. Let's base it by what was said, what was done. Is there proof? Cool. There's proof. Okay, cool. Let's go by that. Let's not go by what dots you connected because guess what? You also probably created the entire puzzle to make your dots connect perfectly.
Hmm.
And I don't got time to do puzzles and I don't got time to create them either. That's it. End of story. When it comes to the situation it's at hand, the situation itself, famous people, music industry, or regular
Hmm.
people like us, it's like to me, it's just like if the space and the energy is a good one, it's
Yeah.
healed, it's in peace, it
Yeah.
is with a purpose for this child or these
Hmm.
children. I don't see the big issue or the big problem. And I'm starting
Hmm.
to realize, and it's interesting that you said it, there's the media and then there's social media. And it's really social media that dedicates their time. Whoever decides to find this purpose in their blog, right?
Hmm.
To create these narratives, create these stories
Yep.
just for traction. That's all it really is. Like
Yep.
what exact purpose are you delivering by creating a narrative just because you have a video of one person at the same location as the other celebrating a birthday and they happen
Hmm.
to share a child to then tag and hashtag and
Yep.
essentially you are disturbing a whole new mom. That's what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
And
The insensitivity for ad revenue, the
mhm
insensitivity that's put out there for um, site traffic.
mhm
If folks really understood and accepted, I'm gonna say
mhm
understood and accepted
right.
the mechanics behind social media, this is a business.
Yeah,
Like the
that sadly
church and faith, it's a business.
business.
You
Mm.
cannot glaze over that fact.
Yeah,
Social media is awesome, but it's still a business. How is it a business? We generate billions of dollars.
yeah,
So to get back to the raw mess of the week topic,
yeah.
supporting baby mama, is one thing if it's just, regular people. These are celebrities. You have
Right.
appearance contracts. You have, a
All of
public eye.
that.
Yeah,
All of it.
your revenue is driven by it. If your ego is that fragile, you probably
Mhm.
shouldn't be with someone in that industry.
Mhm. Mhm.
But he went. He's fine with it. She's fine with it. Understandably, the other mom is fine with it.
Mhm.
If people on the outside having a problem with it, then there isn't really a problem in my
Yeah,
opinion.
fuck them. No, I
Yeah.
agree 1000%. I definitely want to just keep it all the way raw with this. It is possible that in a perfect world, there's a podcast I listen to and they're very pro, breaking the stigma around the name baby mama, baby daddy, right? Um,
Yeah.
and
Because
I,
it's
and
offensive as hell.
right. And I would like to think that it doesn't necessarily have to be negative, right? Just like they say, shout out to the podcast, Good Moms, Bad Choices. But it doesn't have to be a bad term or it doesn't have to have this negative thing around
Hmm.
it. You know what I mean? And with that being said, if everyone is coexisting and getting
Yeah.
along, then it
Hmm.
is okay. It is okay to normalize that too, that everyone can be in the same room for whatever the reason is, for whatever the purpose is
People are so not used to seeing that
at
peace and
all.
balance.
At
The
all.
drama, the drama is just the norm. So,
Always.
I have friends, they have kids together. They've been divorced for years, or they've never been married for years. They do a lot of different things together. And you really start to get an idea for the people that come in and out of their lives is like,
Mhm.
yeah, she ain't make it. 6 months, she couldn't take it.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, she still thinks we're fucking. I was like, that's not even like y'all. It's
Right.
like that's her insecurities, okay,
Right.
or his insecurities,
Right.
But
Mhm.
you have folks out there that oh, that's not possible. It's
It's
like
not possible, right? They fucking. They gotta be fucking.
if you have consenting adults that are fine with it, and other folks are, that's the other folks, issue.
Yeah, let them live. That's my thing. Like, just keep in mind this woman just had this baby. She don't need no other stressors. If her and her fiance are going through whatever they're going through, that's between the two of them.
Yeah.
That's not for anybody to go and, create a whole narrative and a whole story for clickbait. And don't get it twisted. I love a good tea. I love a good fucking story.
Hmm.
But I think that to some extent we do have to be just slightly mindful of certain situations that do not need attention
Yeah.
necessarily, or a whole rumor created around it.
Yeah.
That's just my whole thing with it.
Agreed.
And when it comes to actual people at the end of the day, I discussed this in the last episode about Shakari, our track star, right?
Hmm.
Who got, herself into some Olympic troubles, right? But she said,
Hmm.
like, I'm human, and so are they. They're human too.
Her mother
Like,
just died.
right. People are
You-
human. Like, cut it out.
Man.
Like, let people live in their spaces, do their work, be moms, be new moms, do what they have to do without
Yeah.
every single moment creating a whole story or creating a stigma. Again,
Yeah.
let's normalize the possibility that co-parenting can actually be a seamless lifestyle. It can
Yeah.
actually be a coexisting lifestyle. It can actually be
Yeah.
a positive lifestyle. I am very proud of the
Hmm.
co-parenting life I have today with my son's father and his wife. Like, let that be okay.
Hmm.
Let it be normal. Let's not keep thinking, oh, like he ain't shit. Oh, you see, girl, we told you so. Oh, he's a rapper. Oh, this was a matter of time. Or just like her mama. Like, no, cut the shit out.
Yeah.
But most importantly, there's a bigger picture here. And I've been saying it for quite some time. Famous, not famous, regular, degular, smegular people, like, enough is enough, and I'm sure none
Agreed.
of these fucking blogs are going to listen to this episode, or maybe, but I just think we just need to be mindful. That's all. That's my big thing. I think it's okay to normalize, a good healthy environment between
Hmm.
co-parents. That's all I mean.
Absolutely.
That's all it
Absolutely.
is, really. For the segment of As Raw as It Gets, I want to highlight uh specific series that I came across and I did talk to you about. So we're going to highlight two series,
Yeah.
right, on
Yeah.
both these segments. But I want to touch top specific topics of the series. So the first one, for As Far as It Gets, I'm going to title it, Is Your Sex Resume Essential? Okay, and we're talking about the Netflix series Sex Life. Okay,
Hmm.
and this
Awesome
one's
series.
it was a really good series, very,
Yeah.
very interesting. But a few things came out of this, and I want to highlight them for an overview discussion, right? Because I don't want to give all the tea because I need
Hmm.
people to watch it if they haven't watched it, because at the end of the day, it is a good fucking series.
Yes, it
Specifically,
is.
episode 3 at the 19-minute mark, there is a shocking revelation. in the sh-
Mm.
I just need you.
Hold on. Hold on.
You gotta take a drink.
Mm.
I just need y'all to watch it, okay? But we are going to give a little bit of insight on certain things that
Yeah.
happen here, why this is so relevant to the conversation of egos, of emotional responses, of certain things just being pure bullshit, and shitty fucking people. So with that being said, Sex Life, the main character, she had a weird fucking name, but we call her Billy, or B, what,
Yeah. Yeah.
like her best friend Sasha calls her. Okay, there's a few things here. She is happily married. You're perfect, upstate. Was it upstate? Yeah, it was
It was
Greenwich,
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Greenwich, Connecticut.
Like, yeah, like that in itself, I was just like, oh shit, this bitch lives the good life right now.
Yeah.
It was a good
Coming
life.
coming from Long Island,
Yeah.
Greenwich, Connecticut was like, that's like Pandala. It's like, yo,
Yes.
if you can live in Greenwich, nigga, you made it.
You made it. Yo, and he had the house and he showed it to her when they
Hmm.
were dating. So the whole overview of this is, this woman is basically thinking, missing, daydreaming, obsessing, lusting, still fantasizing of an
Hmm.
ex-boyfriend whose name is Brad. And she decides to begin to write about it because she needs to let this out, right? She needs to vent
So
this out,
release.
just release it. And she's writing a journal on her very beautiful, I think it was a MacBook Pro, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But her husband, who's like your perfect husband, he reads it. He fucking decides to read her fucking journal, and he is PIS. Did you ever watch the movie The Sweetest Thing when the girl in the I was gonna spell pissed. She was like PISED. And she's like, Piced? Well, this girl was pissed.
Spelling
PISSED.
bee champs.
That was such a tangent. Sorry, guys.
Man. No, you good. You
So
good.
he was pissed. He was so fucking pissed. It
Because they
happens
were
off of,
graphic
yes, they were, I mean, they were detailed.
entries.
They were detailed.
And it wasn't
He
just the
still
physical
remembers.
stuff, it was the emotional
Yes.
aspects of it, which really
Yes.
ate at him.
Yes, I think that's the part. Well, for one, is the fact that she remembered every single detail that she wrote about it. She
Hmm.
described how it made her feel.
Yep.
It was an intimate journal entry, very intimate,
Don't read
very.
diaries, niggas. It's like,
Stay,
don't do it.
don't listen. Y'all be thinking
They're
only women be
private
looking
for a
through phones and
reason.
shit. Like some of you men don't do it. Um,
Don't go looking.
Off the bat and see in episode one, he reads this, he's upset. They did try to have sex as a married couple. It didn't work. Okay. He also off the bat, you see he's not quite giving her all the attention. He's really much so all about his kids. But
Yeah.
just a side note though, I need her to change out of that bata and put some clothes on because I had a problem with the fact that she was wearing the same bata. For those of you who don't know, bata is like the little pajama dress from
Hmm.
morning to night, ma'am.
Yeah.
And
Did
you
she
was trying to
shower?
ride this man, and I don't know if I would have been okay with that. I just wanted to, make a note of that. Um,
Effort goes a long
it's
way.
just a little bit of effort. When he reads it the next day from their encounter, and the first thing he does instantly is like fucks the shit out of her, bends her over the counter in the kitchen, fucks the shit out of her, and it was like everything to her, right? But guess what? The shit was not enough. That was a short term fix. No pun intended on the short, but it was a
Not
short
in,
term fix. Okay.
was not sustainable.
It was just not sustainable at all.
Hmm.
My thing is, there's a few things I think I saw wrong with this, right? And I want to highlight this because I am so pro communication and relationships. I'm a very single, divorcee woman, right? I've been married, I've been divorced, I've been in relationships, I've been in situationships, the whole nine yards, right? I have my own intimate standards of fun and sexual lifestyle,
Hmm.
casual or intimate. And I am very pro communication. And I
Yep.
feel like what we saw in that series was a whole fucking disaster of communication or lack thereof. And not only that, but also I saw just such a confused woman that, in my opinion, I feel that the only reason she got married was because A, she did not want to go back to the ex because she was so short time after time that he would just come back within a month. But
Hmm.
B, I really think her husband at some point was a real rebound. She only met him a month after her ex really broke
Two
up with her.
months.
Two
So
months.
it's two
Was it
months
2 months?
after
I
they
thought it was a
broke.
month. I'm sorry.
It was two, according to Sasha, her best
According,
friend.
okay.
It was 2 months, and Sasha was tired of scraping her up off the floor and piecing her back together.
Yes.
And that's why she encouraged him. I mean, he was smooth with that shit.
He was smooth, he was very
I,
charming, very
I,
handsome.
I was quite impressed with it.
He
He's like,
had
I'm
big dick
lost. Can you help
energy.
me? It,
That was big dick energy right there.
man,
His
so many
ego was there.
people think big dick energy means, or is limited to having, big dick. No,
No.
it's a measure of confidence and
Yes.
audacity
Yes.
that, if that's not who you are,
Yeah.
that's not who you
It's
are.
just not who you are, right?
Yeah. You can't fake it. You can't try it.
Mhm.
It is what it is. Um, Sorry guys. So you get to a space where he was hitting all the blocks,
He
man.
definitely was, yeah.
Witty, just not aggressive. There's a fine line between pursuing and stalking.
Oh,
He rode
okay.
that line like a champ. Over the course of being married, having kids, reading some you should not have read, you got to
Mhm.
respect individual privacy, even in a relationship and a marriage. I don't know why that's a lost art. They're still an individual. It's
Right.
not yours. Leave it alone.
She's human.
Yeah, men need that space too. That's why I don't understand going through people's stuff, going through phones is like, I paid a bill on this shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
my, this is private. This is personal.
Mm-hmm.
Married or not, I think everyone still needs those private spaces for their thoughts.
Right.
And the beauty of a solid relationship is that they choose to bring that to you because you've proven to be a safe space.
Right. Right. Right.
A lot of people haven't mastered the art of being a safe space for their relationships. They rely on their good looks, they rely on their bank account, they rely on their dick, they
Oh,
rely on their pussy to
yes.
be the things that um, take the place of, but nothing
Mm-hmm.
can take the place of someone being a safe space for your heart and your true feelings.
Mm.
And in this dynamic with B and her husband,
Cooper.
he Cooper, yeah, he wasn't that space for her.
At all.
He provided a financial, he provided the, emotional
Emotional.
support. He
Mm-hmm.
provided everything, but he
Yeah.
wasn't a safe space for her secrets.
Right. Ooh, not
Her
her
diary,
secrets.
her secrets, her diary. I mean, think about it. They got married, had two kids. She's been separate. She hadn't seen this dude that she's been fantasized, Brad, 8 years. How is it you're with somebody dating, engaged, and married 8 years, and you've never had these conversations about your sexual, desires, the things that you want, the things that brought you joy?
Okay, I'm glad you're saying that because it's actually one of the things I want to touch on.
Hmm.
Is that part hence is your sex resume essential? This is your resume, right? And I call it just the sex because the word experience was going to be too long.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
is this supposed to be part of that the final countdown, that final person, your one and done, you know what I mean? Like, is that so? I'm not talking about body count. That's not what
Hmm.
I'm talking about. I'm talking
Yeah, that's such a
about,
small part of it.
right, the
Yeah.
resume. Like, I've done this or I've done that or I experienced this or I like this. Like, is that, again, are we normalizing that? I don't know if we're fully normalizing it or if we're making it a safe space, whether he
Hmm.
was her safe space in a moment for her to express herself if something was missing. I don't know if it's being normalized that between two people who are spouses, there should be at least a tiny little given,
Hmm.
non-negotiable safe space where we can discuss certain experiences. No names, no face, no case. But
Absolutely.
but
Yeah.
it are we supposed to be doing that? Hey, guys. I wanted to remind you guys that if you have been thinking about starting your own podcast or you have a podcast and it just needs a little bit of help, we have the solution for you. Today's show is brought to you by Idea to Launch Academy, the only multicultural podcast academy that to date has helped launch over 500 podcasts. Yep, you heard that right. 500. I mean, anyone can launch a podcast, but it takes lots of hard work and a solid foundation to have a profitable and successful podcast that stands out from the rest. You can Google how to start a podcast and publish it. And then, yeah, who's going to listen? I mean, I have been podcasting for well over a year. And while there have been many milestones and success with this podcast that you are tuned into, the greatest part of it all is building the wonderful relationships and partnerships with some of the best guests and fellow podcasters. And most importantly, the listeners. They are the reason why we're here. Carlo Amaris, the CEO and founder of Idea to Launch, has put together a course that will help you take your podcast from idea to launch in just 30 days with her proven 5-phase formula that helped her reach over 100,000 downloads in less than a year without social media presence or any tech background. Your artwork, recording, editing, marketing, and so much more. Also, when you are part of the course, you become a part of a community of podcasters. I'm one of them. Use the link in our show description to enroll in the Launch Your Podcast in 30 Days 2.0 2.0. Let them know that Double Dose of Raw Talk sent you and get the Instagram 101 crash course for free. Enrollment is open.
We should be doing that when dating. We shouldn't wait till we get to
Mm.
marriage. I've had, back in early years, prior to getting married and so forth, I had a lot of first dates.
Oh.
And I asked, I'm an open book. I'll be like, look, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for sex 3 to 5 times a week. That is not an option. I understand periods, all that things. Hey, if a period is not something that stops a sentence for you, hey, we can do that too. But
Right.
if that's a week and a half or however many days you need,
Some
I
people's
can
much
live with that.
less. Yeah, but some
You
people's
know,
much less. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to get into a monogamous relationship, i.e., taking each other off the market, why the fuck would you go into that doing less than what you're doing as a single individual?
Amen to that. There we
Because
go.
all you're gonna do is
Monogamy.
regret being in this relationship because
Right.
single life was the shit. I got head
Right.
2 times a day. I got some good box 3 to 5 times a week. I didn't have any drama. I didn't have any stress. I cooked my meals. They love how I cook. You know, I was able to manage everything. And
Yeah.
here this woman comes along, or for females case, here comes this dude, and they want to make it monogamous. But he ain't fucking you the same frequency,
Mm-hmm.
same intensity, same
Mm-hmm.
passion
Mm-hmm.
that these three other dudes that that were your regulars,
Right.
they handling it.
Right.
Ideally, all of us are looking for one person to meet a lot of different needs that
I
we've
need my one person
experienced.
to meet all of them.
Yeah,
Not a
you
lot, all of them.
all of them. Hey, Wonder Dick, if you're out there,
The destroyer.
destroy.
I said that a few episodes ago.
I wish I had a Thor's hammer right about now. That'd be funny. You know, but I think everyone, male, female, if you've had sex, you're looking for good sex or better sex.
Yeah.
If you've had bomb head, you never forget your throat goat. You never forget the dude that just
Say that
made.
one more time for the people in the back. Your throat. Your
You never
throat.
forget your throat goats.
Your
Your
throat
gawk gawk 3000s.
goes. There's a
You
whole sound. You
never.
know what? I'm gonna add that to my throat goat.
Hey, for women, you never forget the dude that made you squirt. You never forget the dude that made you come 9 times in the night. You
Fucking he
never
shit.
forget. You never forget the dude that had your legs shaking, had you calling off work. You know,
Same person. Fucking he shit.
fuck that dude.
Fucking he shit.
We don't. The more sexual experiences you have, the more opportunity is to have awesome memories. You don't
Yes.
forget those memories. The reality is, unless there is open communication
Mm-hmm.
and you are okay with rejection and starting over,
Mm-hmm.
the likelihood of settling for 80/20 is very high.
Oh.
A lot of folks are not comfortable with putting it out there and being rejected,
Mm-hmm.
especially someone they're really interested in. You meet somebody and you start imagining all this shit. Is like, no, try to be friends first. And friends have real conversations. You
Right.
know, I- you can fuck somebody the first night. Hey, that's allowed. But that doesn't mean you're in love. That means you fucked
Right.
another
That
adult
just
the
touch it.
same night.
Right. Right.
Get out your head and get out your scenarios and focus on the moment and
Right.
have those real conversations.
Right.
Hey, how do you feel about anal beads?
Right. Talk about it. Talk
How do
about
you
it.
feel about, ropes and weights and chains? How
Right.
do you feel about, sex parties? How do you feel about, polyamory? How do you feel about, threesomes?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not having those conversations while you're dating someone, you
Mm-hmm.
missed the fucking boat
Yep.
because you're setting yourself up to be disappointed or pleasantly surprised. And too few of us are pleasantly surprised when you get to a point of, oh, we're monogamous, and we're together, we're a thing, we're an item, and yeah, she's good, man, she's good. What was that best man Christmas or holiday?
All the best
They
man
were down in the
holiday.
base. He's like, man, so who's better on rocking the mic? And he's like,
Yeah.
Shelby.
They all did say shout out to Shelby. She was
He's
so
like, yeah.
proud. She
He's
was
like,
like,
yeah.
microphone check. I
He's
heard
like,
you, girl.
what?
Yes.
What's it's like, hey,
But he still
everybody,
loved his wife. He still loved
yeah.
his wife. He adored his wife. He was still protective of his wife,
Hmm.
regardless of what her past was and whatnot. But it's true. He was still
You
in a
never
raw
forget.
moment. Yeah, he was like, his face. I went up. He was like,
Shelby.
Shelby. like, like,
Yeah.
yeah, guys.
Hey, dating is just collecting data.
It
You
is.
do not have to date one person at a time. You can date as many people as you want. Put your stuff out there as well. I
Hmm.
think we're too worried about, I know personally for me, I was worried about being seen as, a freak or sex craze I like what I like.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't start having sex till I was 18, my 18th birthday. It was a college campus at midnight, stroke of midnight. It was a great
Okay.
night, you
Okay.
know, but even that,
A
it,
stroke of midnight. That may just be the title of this episode.
you get to a place where, I was smitten. It was fun. It was great. It was a freshman year of college. Girl turned out to be engaged. So my
But you
first time
see,
was drama, but that didn't define how I looked at everybody, every other woman going forward. But you're mindful. If you make the choice to step out of a monogamous relationship and have a even if it's just a physical relationship with somebody else, the reality is you cannot share your body with another person
mhm,
and feel nothing.
that is true.
You can suppress
Right?
everything. You may take to alcohol, cigarettes, working out, drowning yourself in work or something
Or
to
other
balance it
substances.
out, but you're not going to walk away with nothing.
Right, right, absolutely. There's different levels to it. Levels of intention, levels
Mhm.
of purpose,
Intensity. Mhm.
intensity, right? Like there's so many different levels to that. And even with this and there's you said something that was such a good segue into the next segment. Because again, I don't want to give all the story. I need
Of
people to
course.
go to Netflix, and if you don't have an account, I will lend you my login and my password so you can watch Sex Life. And then when you tell me you're done, I'm going to change my password. But like I need people to go watch this to understand, because there's
Mhm.
so much that could have been prevented
Yep.
from jump had Billy said what she needed to say, had Cooper been more attentive. I'm not saying he deserved it.
Mhm.
I'm not saying any of this. And let me be clear, she did not cheat, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Okay, in my opinion, because for some people, and then we could lead into the
Having
next segment,
fantasies and being,
having
oh, he's cheating
yes,
emotionally.
having fantasies, right? All of
If
that
I ain't
is
fucked
cheating.
nothing, or if I ain't been throated,
That don't mean I'm gonna give
that's
y'all
for
his
you.
number though. I just need to put this
No,
shit out there. That's not what that
for all
means.
when you talk about a monogamous relationship, I'm not
Hmm.
worried about nobody. It's like get away. What's the spray? Bitch, be gone. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not worried about nobody else. I'm focused on you.
Don't ask me for that if you're not ready for all of it. That's
Eh,
that's that's how I see it. Don't ask me for that if you're not ready for
It's
all of it.
not.
Cause I'm
It,
okay without being monogamous.
hmm
I'm okay with the moment you ask me for monogamy, you better be ready for all of it.
Even more so, if that's not something you're willing to learn,
Mm-hmm.
invest in, support
Mm-hmm.
happily, and engage in, it's probably a good time to walk away
She
from the
not for you.
entire
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. She
And
not
you
for
need to
you.
be okay with that. If it's something that you learn about someone that you can't fully support
Mm-hmm.
enthusiastically,
Mm-hmm.
they're not the person for you. and
Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Not just in the bedroom.
yeah,
Let that statement sink in that that does not apply just in the bedroom, but
yep,
in absolutely everything of that being and their existence, including the bedroom. I'm just interested to know what people think.
yeah, for
Just
real.
because with the whole fantasies and just the communication and resumes and frankly, I always confuse the resume with the body count, but I
Hmm.
do think that it is, as someone who's
Two
pro
different
communication,
things.
like it is two different things. And
Hmm.
I too need to get comfortable with knowing that, the whole, multiple sexcapades is not for everybody. That type of lifestyle is not for everybody. Not everybody has experienced it. Not everybody's going to be okay with it. Not everybody's going to be okay with the option to it or other things that I may need to fulfill
Hmm.
that 20%, so, that being on a very personal and intimate note, but also just for anybody in general.
Hmm.
I
And
don't I don't think we need to just quote unquote be okay or settle for lack of a better word.
hmm
I think at least if we do throw it on the table for discussion, then nobody could say, "Oh, I didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't know you
yeah,
lived this life or I had no idea this is what you wanted or this is what you liked,"
for real.
or things like that. The I had no idea. It just kicks you in the fucking
It is the
ass.
epitome of lack of communication.
There's one thing you did mention. It applies to the Double or Nothing segment, which is titled "Oops, I Slept with Someone." You
Hmm.
mentioned, the whole piece of, if we're not fucking, if I'm not fucking, it's not cheating, right? And you had an experience with someone who was engaged for your 18th birthday. That was your stroke at midnight. Keeping it raw, and I want to just specifically highlight. You saw the agenda. It surrounds one key concept regarding the show. Again, and what's so crazy is it was triggering for me to watch Sex Life, and it was triggering for me to watch Sex Life was just a full on complete series at once on Netflix while I'm watching the series Run the
Run
World.
the world. Yeah.
Right. Which is episode by episode, week by week. And the week I choose to watch Sex Life is in between the weeks that one of the girls in Run the World, an excellent series. You guys please go check it
Hmm.
out. It's
Love
on
it.
Stars.
All
Was
of
it
them.
on Stars? Was it
It's
on
on
Stars?
stars. Yeah.
On Stars.
I paid
Um,
for that subscription too.
I mean, I'll give you my login. It's okay. It is based here in New York City. Kind of think of like what Sex in the City is,
Harlem.
but
Yeah.
better. Okay.
Much
Um,
better.
what is crazy, and I want to tackle this this specifically.
Hmm.
Whitney, she's getting married. She's getting married to her one and only. His name is Ola. Amazing cast, amazing actors,
Hmm.
right? But there's a concept in
Absolutely.
there that applies to this whole thing of, oh my gosh, she was engaged. Oh my gosh, she actually fucked. That means she cheated. Whitney has only known him, right? Has only had
One dick
one man, okay, for how many years? For so
since high
long.
school.
Okay, they're about to get married since high school. They're adults. They have careers. They're
In their
amazing
30s.
in their 30s. Amazing. Look at how long they've been together, right? She steps out one night. She fucks the community dick, okay? Because this guy who they see apparently has fucked several, including two of her friends. I think fucked him. I don't remember. So all three fucked him. All of them fucked
I think all of them got a
him.
shit.
He ends up cheating, right? And towards the end of the series, well, not the end, towards the current episode of the series, she decides to tell her fiance the truth because it's been eating her up alive. She's not okay with it. It's bothering her. All the process of the wedding is getting to her, and she tells him. And homegirl lost control. He gave it to her raw. Well, I mean, he gave it to her raw because they totally fucked. But he
Hmm.
he he read her for filth. He did, and this is his fiance. This is the woman he's adored and loved. Um, but she cheated. And my question here is, and we definitely highlighted on this a little bit, but more so deeper on this. And he says something that I want to quote. He said, you know, the real problem is that she betrayed him. And what stood out to me with that, yes, in his mind, to your point, he like, oh my God, this man is touching you. Oh my God, like you let him touch you. Like all
Yeah.
of this is going through his mind. But what
Hmm.
stood out to me with him was that it was the betrayal piece. It was the part where he's looked at her all these years and he just saw perfection.
Yep.
Like no one can tell him nothing about her. And so when we think about a sex resume, and when you're the only person on her sex resume, and suddenly she can add one more task or
Here
I
comes
don't know,
another entry.
because another
2021.
entry. Suddenly her
Yeah.
resume went to shit. Suddenly, and I'm not saying he's supposed to tolerate it. She was very apologetic. I know it's a series, I know it's a show. She was crying, she was on her knees, pleading and begging him, like, I love you. I still want to be with you. I'm so sorry, right? She told the truth, right? She came clean, but
And did it privately.
and did it private. She didn't do it right, right. Like, is everything supposed to go to shits? I know she pretty much threw everything to shits, but is everything supposed to now go through shits? Because essentially you've been the only one on her sex resume. I mean,
Yeah,
are we
Lance.
looking at cheating as something that, you know, again, there's levels to that, there's measures to that. Is it, for some people cheating includes just fantasies, not necessarily a physical encounter. For others, the actual physical encounter of fucking, oh my God, that's a full-on betrayal. I mean, she didn't share any emotions with this man. She didn't share any intimacy with this man. She didn't share anything
No.
of
This
that
was
kind.
literally community dick. She saw him. She was like, "Oh, fuck it. I've literally never been with anybody else. I'm about to get married. Fuck it. Let's do it."
Fuck it. Yeah.
And I honestly believe everyone's allowed one good fuck up
Okay.
in work and in relationships. Every one.
Just one.
Cheating isn't necessarily something where I would, throw away the entire relationship over.
Okay. Well, with this girl with Whitney, for a quick second, I thought, well, maybe it was the cold feet. Maybe it was like, oh shit, this shit is getting real. Like I've had this man in my life
Mhm.
this whole time, and now we're really going to commit, and this is it, right? But then I did feel like maybe there's somewhere deep inside her where she's been just possibly living up to others' expectations and
And she
not being
mentioned that.
right. And she mentions it, and
Yep.
not really being who she truly wants to be, to her
Yep.
level of freedom, to her level of
Yep.
just, being herself, being maybe slightly careless, maybe not
Mhm.
necessarily uptight and upright at 24/7,
She used Excel spreadsheets for grocery lists.
for grocery lists.
Like
Yeah.
she had a control complex. She had to be in control of everything. One thing
And
that
he told her that.
Ola it stuck out with me when he was getting ready to
Yeah.
you can't control this
Control.
part of this.
Yes. I can appreciate humanity while still, I mean, is it crossing the line if in my mind, because I am human and temptation might play a role in that,
Hmm.
that I am having a fantasy with that person just in my
What you do in
mind?
your head is your business. That
Well,
people,
because some people constitute that as cheating. Remember that.
they're fucking lunatics. You have no control over another human. You don't own another human. You don't have ownership rights over another human or their
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people go. They think, "Oh, you're mine." It's like, no, the fuck, I'm not. This ain't your dick. It's your turn.
That's what Cooper told Billy. You
Yeah,
are all mine. Remember, he told her while he was, when he bent her, you're right. You're
yeah.
right. You're right. And at the
People
end
have
of
an
the day,
ownership complex, and
yes.
he only said that because he didn't see this big swinging dick of a Brad.
Yeah.
And when he saw that shit, literally, y'all.
I don't even want to grab my thermal bottle at this
Mhm,
moment because it's
yeah.
reminded me of.
Hey, it's an ego issue. I remember going on a date. I was living in DC. First date, and went out to dinner. Nothing too fancy. We were talking, having a great conversation, and she asked, "So, what are you looking for?" I was like, "Can I be completely honest with you and answering that question?" She's like, "Yeah, of course. New. Oh yeah,
Mhm,
be
mhm,
honest. Tell me. I love truthful man."
mhm.
I don't want to know your favorite color. I don't want to talk on the phone every single day. I don't want to text back and forth what you doing, how's your day on. I want to fuck 2, 3 times a week. I work 2 jobs. I really don't have the patience or the time for an actual relationship at this point.
Right.
This chick swung on me at the table, and I was speaking just
No.
as calmly as I am now. People have shown they can't handle truth. Truth is disrespectful. Truth is
Oh my
offensive.
God.
Like, you asked me what I'm looking for.
You were truthfully assaulted.
Yeah, and I leaned back, and she got all mad and left. I spoke my truth. You asked me, I told you. She called me an hour later, apologized, and we ended up, fucking anyway. But because she was like, I thought about what you said, and I was offended, but because something happened in the past, that's got nothing to do. This whole. But if you would have calmed your ass down to begin with, accepted the fact that I'm not your past, and dealt with the moment differently.
Y'all, you know what happened there? And then we're going to close this out just like this. Ready? You know what happened there? Here goes the data I collected and my analysis on this thing. What happened there was she felt your big dick energy. Okay. That's what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened. And what she decided to do after she collected that data and saw all the potential in there, my girl said, let me conduct some service recovery here so I could still get the service. And that's what she got.
Ah,
So
yes, she did. I
whoever she
mean,
is, because on this platform we do not incriminate anyone, shout out to you. You have made me very, very proud. And I am going to take this with me and learn how to conduct service recovery when I impulsively react to someone who is being truthful. Okay, that's what we're gonna do here. Because that is by far one of the most epic stories I've ever heard. She swung at me first. She swung at me first, but my
hey,
girl conducted service recovery. She called you an hour later.
there
She
was
made me
this.
proud.
There's a skit on a Jay-Z album or one of his early projects that I love bitches, shy bitches, die bitches, don't matter. You're my. The
Uh-huh.
skit before that song is this girl cussing Jay-Z out. And right after that song, hi, I just want to say
Say
thank you for a
yes,
good night.
yes,
Maybe we can hang out. You was really cool.
yeah,
It's like I lived that shit. It
yeah,
was wild to see
yeah.
within an hour someone go from this
To
to
that,
this.
yeah,
But you speak your truth.
yeah.
If you gotta, duck,
It's
do what you gotta do. But speak your truth.
yeah.
Don't rob somebody of their ability to make an informed decision. If you're vibing, you're having a good conversation, it's going great, they're actually on the same wavelength. They're just
Mhm.
shocked that somebody said it first.
Yeah.
You know, you present a scenario and they might need time to think about it, but it might be something they're into.
Mhm.
But give people opportunity to make an informed decision. And I find with um, Sex Life and Run the World, you didn't give them an
At
opportunity
all.
to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Neither one.
You didn't give speaking of Run the World, you didn't give your fiance an opportunity to hear your heart on how you're feeling. You
Mhm.
didn't tell anybody, your girlfriends, your mom, nobody.
Mhm.
And in Sex Life, you didn't give your husband and father of your 2 kids an opportunity to learn all of you
Mhm.
before, during, or after getting married. You you conceal that, and then when it boils over, you're upset about how they're reacting to it.
Mhm.
It's like, what are you doing? You
Yeah.
know. So there's the communication above all else. The more questions we ask, particularly during dating, I guess what comes back to, dating, being married, and you have a situation, cheating or infidelity or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, even sexual resume, like the beginning topic of all this, everything comes back to communication. Be
Yeah.
open, speak
Yeah.
your truth, give them the raw talk, double
Mhm.
dose,
Yeah.
and let the chips fall where they may, and be okay with wherever it ends up.
Mhm. No, no, no. No, no. And let me be honest why,
Hmm.
because when it comes to your peace, when it comes to
Yeah.
your spirit, like don't wait till the last minute to determine that. We should be
No.
working towards that
Hmm.
continuously.
Absolutely.
People come and go. And hopefully one of those is definitely going to make perfect sense and will stay, right?
Mhm.
Um, if that's what we want, if that's what we choose for. But
Agreed.
to the point of control, to the point of data collected, to the point of um our emotions, our egos,
Mhm.
our self buildup, that's on us. And
It
so how
is.
we see the future is also on us. We can't
Mhm.
expect the person who's just gonna come in to figure that shit out for us and build it for us. That's not how at this age, that's not how that's just gonna work.
Wow.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um
The wildest shit I've seen lately is someone tell my soulmate will just know how to deal with. No, the fuck they won't.
no,
Your
that's not
soulmate will
true.
be a lot more tolerant than other motherfuckers than you've dealt with.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna come into your life knowing how to deal and handle and
Yeah.
how to get that shit out your head. It's a fucking lie. You have to
Yeah.
put in the work. Twin
Right.
flames, soulmates, whatever other, things that are out there. You have to put in the work. Some is going to be easier than others,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but you have to put in the work. You have to speak your truth no matter what. A
Mm-hmm.
soulmate, a twin flame, whatever, you can bear it all out and they'll embrace it. It'll feel natural. You still have to put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was funny. I replied back like, "Nah, that's some bullshit." They're like, "Why?" I was like, "Here." Oh, well, shit. You kind of right. I was like, "Yeah." Stop
Mm-hmm.
posting shit because it sounds profound. It's you still have to critically think about this. This is your life.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships are your life. Gotta look at it on a more serious level beyond the meme. I know it's so easy to do that with social media. Life ain't a meme,
Yeah.
shit is real. People are really getting their heart broken. People are getting divorced at wild rates. Not speaking your truth and waiting and hoping. That's the shit that is killing relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not speaking out my ass. I know from experience twice over. You have to speak your truth. The earlier, the better. Save yourself
Mm-hmm.
the headache.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, well, I think we may have given people a little bit of a headache today, to be honest with you, which is perfectly fine.
They'll
Um,
be all
that's okay. Take it
right.
all in, collect the data that you need to, self-reflect.
They'll
Um,
play this twice, maybe even three times, but
Yeah, and again,
hopefully.
please watch those shows. Please reach out to the show here. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you already watched it. Let me know your thoughts on it. If you haven't, and you go and you start watching it now, both shows, especially again, Sex Life and Run the World. This is never really a platform where I discuss TV shows like that, but it was just so reflective to these topics of conversation that I couldn't help but
Seriously.
highlight them and
Yeah.
to reference them and to really put them on the map. There are very few shows that do that for me. Like Insecure is one of those shows that I fucking love to death from the moment that I
Absolutely.
started watching it, which I binge watched it just like I did with Scandal. I did not watch it from the very beginning and fell in love with it. And man, I should have watched it a long time ago. But nevertheless, please go catch up on the series. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions
Mhm.
on things. I would be so interested and intrigued to know where your mindset is with both these ladies, Billy and Whitney, Ola and
Absolutely.
Cooper, just the
Yeah.
scenarios, just that what would you do? Like, what would you do if you were either or? Share with us.
Mhm.
This was very insightful. I want to thank you for coming on this platform and the show to
Of
finally chop it up on
course.
something that not everybody has the balls or the comfort to get uncomfortable and have these type of discussions and keep it all the way raw. You guys already know I
Mhm.
say this on this platform. We get comfortable being uncomfortable and no topic is
Mhm.
ever off limits. And this is definitely one of them. I'm sorry, guys. Some people probably like, damn, it's D. You was like dogging out Whitney and Billy. No, it wasn't about dogging them out. It's just if we're gonna get all the way raw with it, we have to see the
Mhm.
both sides that we were able to see in these shows and
Mhm.
really put into perspective whether it's Billy and Whitney, whether it's Tiffany, whether it's Tatiana, whether it's
Mhm.
Dolores. Shout out to my middle name. You already know.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be anybody really in that situation. We
Mhm.
really have to collect this data and figure out, like, it's not about who to blame. It's about, how do I fix this, or do I just walk away?
Accountability.
Right. Exactly. Like
It's
own up
accountability
to what
season,
you've done,
man.
and assess it, and then do something about it. Don't just sit there. No, it was you. Like, we get nowhere. Stop the
Mhm.
pointing of the fingers. Make things work.
Calling out
To you.
accountability is not hating. It's not threatening. It's not disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, own it. You did what
Yeah.
you did. Own it.
Yeah.
How do we move forward from here? But if
Yeah.
you can't own what you did, man, no relationship will last.
Absolutely. Oof. That was the word. All right. Do you want to tell my listeners where they could find? I know you say you keep your page very private, but if you want, we can include it just so they know for
I've
reference.
I've been really thinking about just opening it up public.
Okay.
Mostly, early when my daughter was younger, I posted a lot, about her and so forth. But you got some weirdos out there, and I had to check two people on that dumb
Yeah.
shit, and I'm very
Yeah.
protective of my daughter.
Yeah.
But at Frank.SaidSo on
Okay.
Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter. Um, I work a lot, so social media is not something I spend a whole lot of time on. So Frank.SaidSo on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot me a request, I'll accept you. We can chit chat, whatever have you. I welcome, all kinds of, discussions like these.
Yeah.
Raw. I like having these types of conversations. Also, recently, as of yesterday, my brother dragged me onto Clubhouse.
Oh gosh. I'm
So
over
Frank
it.
said so on Clubhouse as well, and I'm fighting fan base, but they're coming to Android at the end of the month, and it's like, I don't know if anybody really wants to hear what I got to say, but you know, if you go to my website, Frank said so. I'm a voiceover artist. I do,
Yeah.
articles and things of that nature, but audio books and things of that nature. So if you want to keep hearing my voice in meditations and reviews and books and stuff like that, you could find some samples there.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, he just pulled the plug on that one. I have a few people who definitely look for voiceover actors. So
hey,
I'll let them
I'm
know.
game.
Absolutely. And you guys already know. Thank you once again for joining. This has been another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. As always, I am your host, Misty, and you guys will tune in next week. Bye.
Peace, y'all.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And we are live on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Make sure to tell a friend to subscribe, rate, and review. Talk to you later. Bye.